We've talked about drought and cattle, we've talked about drought and crops, and now it's time to talk a little bit about drought and trees. Joining us now is Craig McKinley, our Extension Forestry Specialist, and just like the other things we've seen impacted by drought, Craig, it's been a rough summer and for trees as well.
Well, there's no doubt about it. In my memory, the other bad year was 1980, and I think this one beat that year, so it's probably the worst I've seen.
And you can tell pretty early on. I mean, we saw a lot of leaves dropping and trees looking like they were stressed out. Is that an accurate description of what we've seen the last few months?
Absolutely. The trees have a way to respond to drought stress, and the way that most trees respond is simply to shut down. And by doing that, they start losing their leaves or they start losing their needles. And so it looks like an early fall. Unfortunately, it's the stress.
And have some trees died altogether, or are there some varieties that have been more vulnerable as well?
Well, obviously the younger trees are more stressed than older trees. There are certain species that seem to be more susceptible, but this year I think all species have taken some sort of licking, so to speak, in terms of the stress.
And is there anything specifically that homeowners and property owners can do to help those drought-stricken trees?
Well, obviously water is the first thing. If in fact they are able to water, can afford it, and water is available, we'd like to have, I think, about 2 inches of rainfall equivalent every 2 weeks. And that's not just a little bit every day, that's 2 weeks and a good soaking. That will help, but it's no guarantee.
Okay, let's talk about another issue that you've been getting calls about regarding a pest that's making it even worse in these times of drought.
We've had several calls, and in fact it's made the newspapers several times, particularly in the Oklahoma City, Edmond area. It's called the pinewood nematode. The nematode is a very microscopic-like worm which will attack the inside of the trees and affect the water conducting system. The net result is drought stress it makes it worse, and then results in very quick death. The trees die, it seems like overnight, usually within 1 or 2 weeks, and the entire tree is dead.
So it may seem like it's from the drought, but it may actually be this nematode that you mentioned.
Right, the nematode just causes the drought stress to be increased, and it causes it to occur much more rapidly. So yes, it is a type of drought stress, but it's a bigger problem than just the lack of water.
So what is the easiest way for a property owner to identify if it's a nematode and they need to take further action?
Well, the first thing to see is how fast did the tree die. If it seemed to die very quickly, 1 to 2 weeks, it may be a nematode. The way to really check is to just cut what we would call a tree cookie, and take that tree cookie and put it in water overnight and get a microscope and look the next day, and if you see the little nematodes in the water, then that's the problem. However, any dead tree may have nematodes, so the best thing is just cut it down and get rid of it, burn it somehow, remove the source of a future infection.
McKinley also talked about eastern red cedar and his work with an organization dedicated to finding uses for this tree.
Well, not too long ago, I put together a list of things you can make out of red cedar, and it turned out to be 2 pages long. So we're looking at everything from oil for cosmetics. It's been used as insecticides. We also have the mulch, particle board, energy pellets, just a number of things.
And let's talk about the organization that you mentioned.
Well, the Aromatic Cedar Association is headquartered out of Oklahoma City. It is primarily an Oklahoma-based organization, but there are several other members in other states who are also very active. This organization is looking at the utilization of red cedar. We've done several workshops, and we have a conference coming up here on October the 22nd.
And it's kind of an all-day event for people who are interested?
It's a one-day event. We're going to host it over at Fairview, and the lead off is Representative Morissette out of Oklahoma City. And we're also going to have people talk to us about energy, such as pellets and ethanol. We're going to look at a study which was just recently completed on the energy available out of a red cedar. And we have a mulch study and a couple of other topics that will be brought up.
Okay, so pretty busy day then.
It looks to be a good day, and we're looking forward to having probably 75 to 100 people there.
Okay, Craig, thank you. Alternatives on utilizing red cedar. For more information on that conference, you can go to our website at sunup.okstate.edu.